Business Show
with Gas Networks Ireland. So convenient with no need to store, order or pay in advance. More at gasnetworks.ie/gas for business.
You learn a lot about business just by talking to their promoters. One thing I learned that I wasn't aware of is that if you are, say, a fast-growing tech company, you can't second guess if you're going to need space for 5 or 50 people in 6 months' time. You just heard there from Airbnb. It depends on your success. So the last thing you need to do is to have to move when you're in the middle of some mad expansion. Savills Ireland has set up a subdivision called Workthere to tackle this problem. It aims to find that hard-to-find, flexible workspace. And they've given Michael Healy the job of rolling it out, and he has rolled into us. Thank you very much, Michael Healy of Workthere. Flexible office space. I heard Martin Shannon of the IDA yesterday on radio telling the world that there was tons of office space out there. I don't believe it.
Well, I mean, you have to look around in the skyline and you can see there's plenty of cranes up in Dublin at the moment.
The future is bright.
Absolutely. So there's about 3.7 million square feet of office space under construction at the minute in Dublin, which is great news because it's going to add another 10% onto our stock. But where does that fit in with flexible serviced office space available on attractive terms? The serviced office sector is growing in Dublin. So the likes of Regis and WeWork are planning big expansions in Dublin.
We have Regis here already, but WeWork, a big New York operation, is coming to town.
Yeah, so they're actively looking for 3 business centres in Dublin. So once they're in, it's going to have a huge impact on the market. But there are a number of established service office operators out there at the minute. So you have the likes of Glandor, Iconic Offices and Digital Office Centre all providing serviced office space. But it is a minefield, and what Workthere is, it's a service office acquisition business. So we will act for companies who are looking for serviced office space.
But are you any different to anybody else who's doing it? If I'm a startup, I start scrambling around looking at small ads, big ads, any other ad.
Yeah, well, you're going to get tripped up. I mean, it's you need to know the market.
Say that.
You need to know the market intimately. You need to know who's there, who's reputable. And Savills have been in the commercial sector for many a year.
There goes the ad. Evil Frank is going to be very upset.
Huge amount of experience in advising tenants. So, look, what I would say is the majority of landlords out there, they pay professionals to represent them. And if you're out looking for office space and you do it alone, I think it's quite foolhardy. So you need an expert on your side.
Is there flexible office space available in quantity?
No, not in quantity. So
so there is a problem.
There is. But having said that, a lot of tenants are offloading space on flexible lease terms. So, for instance, you would have had the likes of Twitter, who leased a big building on Fenian Street, and then in turn sublet portions of that to the likes of DocuSign and MTT. Stripe, for instance, are another company who leased a building of 40,000 square feet and then offered 2-year sublets on part. So the tenants in the market are actually providing space for other tenants on a flexible basis. And I think once the service office market grows and the likes of WeWork and Regis and Iconic and you name it expand their portfolios, I think it'll be a good thing for the market. And there's definitely demand. €65 per square foot is the top end in Dublin. No startup, none of the kinds of people who are looking for flexible office space will come anywhere close to that. Yeah, true. But I mean, 65, as you say, is prime, but there's lots of space available much cheaper than that.
How much?
So, if you go out into the suburbs, you're talking about, €25 per square foot. There are parts of Dublin in the city centre and, say, secondary locations where you'd pay, anywhere between €35 and €45 per square foot.
How far out are you going?
So places like, Smithfield, Euston South Quarter, The Point, places like that, you will pay cheaper rents.
But how far is Workthere going? Are you outside of Dublin?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So for now, Workthere was launched in February in London. So it lists all the London properties. And as of this week, we launched in Dublin. So for now, we're listing all Dublin properties. But the focus now will be to roll it out in Galway, Limerick, Cork, etc. So,
what are the office markets like there for flexibles for any of the regional capitals?
Yeah, it's quite similar to Dublin. I mean, there is a shortage of space in Galway in particular, and I think
it's a great complaint all the same. That does mean that things are just booming.
They are, but Galway in particular needs more flexible space, and there is a market there. I know that we're talking about WeWork coming into Dublin. I think if they went into Galway, absolutely there's a market there, or any other service provider.
What's square foot of flexible space in Galway?
It's very small. It's a couple of hundred, or be 10 or 20,000 square feet. It wouldn't be big.
Yeah, and in terms of cost, how much would it cost me per square foot?
So typically the service office cost would typically cost anywhere between 350 and 700 euro per desk per month. So that's the typical charges that you would pay. So 700 would be the top end of the Dublin market, and 350 would be at the lower end. And that, for instance, you would pay those type of prices in Galway.
Okay, so if anybody wants or has flexible office space, you'd love to talk to them.
Absolutely, love to talk to them, love to list it on our website. And just to say, if you are inquiring with us, if you're a company, there's no charge to you. It's a free service to the occupier.
Hang on a second now. Oh my God, free. Michael, thank you very much for joining us. That is Michael Healy, who is running Workthere for Savills.
The Sunday Business Show.
With Gas Networks Ireland. So convenient with no need to store, order or pay in advance.